Hello and best wishes to you all. Today I'm going to be talking about arguably one of my favourite characters, not just in the Black and White series, but the entire Pokémon anime. With the announcement earlier this year that Iris is making her long overdue return to the show as part of Pokémon Journeys, I feel now would be a good time to talk about some of her best moments from Black and White. So, without further ado, here are my top 5 Iris episodes from the Pokémon Black and White anime series. Number 5. The Lonely Dino. In this episode, Ash, Iris and Silent are helping out a young man named Bobby who runs a Pokemon daycare centre. Bobby has been having difficulty with a rowdy trio of Dino, and Ash, Iris and Silent are each tasked with caring for one of them. Iris's Dino has become increasingly reclusive, refusing to eat or join in with the other Pokemon at playtimes. Concerned for Dino's well-being, and as an aspiring Dragon Master, Iris makes it her mission to bring Dino out of its shell. She takes this seriously, going as far as to stay next to Dino all night to try and earn its trust rather than go to sleep herself. Her perseverance ultimately pays off, as the dragon type opens up its heart to her and begins eating again. Iris even begins training sessions with Dino whilst it awaits the return of its trainer, who is several days late to collect it. It's a bittersweet moment when Dino's trainer eventually does show up, as Iris had formed a close bond with it, even in a relatively short time. In fact, when it seemed the trainer may not return, Iris actually invited Dino to travel with her instead. But it was not to be, and it's a testament to her growth that Iris is happy for Dino rather than resentful that it didn't become her Pokemon. This episode marks an important step towards her goal of becoming a Dragon Master. Number 4. Iris and Excadrill against the Dragonbuster. When we are first introduced to Iris, we are given the impression that her partner Axew is her only Pokemon. However, we soon learn this is not the case. Iris's first Pokemon was in fact a Drillbur, who she caught whilst she was still living in the Village of Dragons. Iris and Drillbur made quite the team, raking up 99 wins in a row. During this time, Drillbur evolved into Excadrill. However, they lost their 100th battle against Dragon Master Draydon and his Haxorus. In this episode, we see flashbacks of what happened during the battle, and it becomes clear that Excadrill realised they were outmatched and attempted to convey this to Iris. But Iris was too focused on winning and pushed on with the battle. Not only did they lose the match, but Excadrill lost the trust it had in Iris too. Since then, it has refused to battle for her. But in this episode, as well as getting all this backstory, we also see Iris making a heartfelt apology to Excadrill, and the two make amends. This is followed by an excellent battle, where the reunited Iris and Excadrill take on the cocky Dragonbuster Georgia and her formidable Beartic in a winning effort. Once again, this episode is an excellent example of Iris's growth. Where earlier in the series she simply got frustrated at Excadrill for ignoring her commands, here she takes the time to understand and set things right. Number 3. Iris and the Rogue Dragonite. This is perhaps one of the greatest examples of how far Iris has come on her journey to reach her goal. In this episode, a Dragonite has seemingly launched an unprovoked attack on a local power plant, subsequently knocking out all of the power in a nearby town. When Iris hears about this, she feels there must be more to the story, as she is of the opinion that Dragon-type Pokemon are often misunderstood. As it transpires, she is right. The Dragonite is in fact injured, and that's what led to its aggressive behaviour. It didn't attack the power plant, it crash-landed after getting hurt in a battle against a Wild Hydreigon. In the end, Iris is able to accomplish something that neither Officer Jenny and her men, nor a group of the strongest trainers in town could, and persuades Dragonite to leave quietly and receive medical attention. Here, we see Iris utilise her incredible ability to calm down even the most hostile of dragon types, as well as look inside their hearts and communicate with them. In fact, Dragonite's encounter with Iris has such a profound effect on it that it agrees to join her team and travel along with her. Number 2. Battle Club Finale, A Hero's Outcome. Iris's biggest win in battle takes place in this episode. Having already defeated Stefan and a trainer by the name of Jimmy Ray in earlier rounds, Iris faces off against Luke to determine who will battle Ash in the finals of Don George's Battle Club tournament. Although it seems like Iris's Axew is no match for Luke's Golett, there is a surprising turn of events in the closing moments of the battle. Axew learns Outrage and is able to seize victory from the jaws of defeat. This means that Iris and Ash are both in the finals and will face one another to determine the overall winner of the tournament. It's a close-fought battle between Pikachu and Excadrill, but in the end, Iris emerges victorious. This is a huge moment for Iris as a trainer, and showcases what a proficient battler she can be when she and her Pokemon are on the same page. Number 1. Draydon vs Iris, Past, Present and Future. In this episode, we are finally treated to some more of Iris's backstory. Upon visiting Opalucid City at the request of Dragonmaster Draydon, Iris visits her old dorm room and shares her story with Ash and Cylon. As it turns out, Iris's ability to communicate deeply with Dragon-type Pokémon is a rare gift, which only very few possess. So much so, in fact, that she was offered a place by Draydon at his prestigious Pokémon school, Opalucid Academy. However, Iris struggled to fit in at school. She was so used to the way things were in the Village of Dragons, the other children regarded her as odd, and subsequently, she didn't make any friends. Equally, because she was accustomed to the carefree life in the village, she had a hard time with her studies too. Iris recalls how she would frequently climb a tall tower in the centre of Opalucid City, in the hopes of seeing her hometown in the distance. Although she was unable to actually see the Village of Dragons, the fresh air from so high up reminded her of home. Eventually, Iris decided to leave the school and carve out a path of her own. After returning to the village, it was suggested by the Elder that she go on a journey to further hone her skills as both a trainer and a Dragon Master. After recounting the details of her past, Iris heads to the Opalucid Gym for her battle against Draydon. This starts with a rematch from the first time they fought, with Draydon's Haxorus taking on Iris's Excadrill. This is an intense bout which ends in a double knockout. Draydon then sends out his Draydon to face Iris's Dragonite. This battle demonstrates how much Iris has learned, as instead of using Dragonite's ability of flight, she listens to her Pokémon and understands it wants to battle on an even playing field, rather than have an advantage. Ultimately, this winds up costing them the match, as Dragonite is unable to dodge the final blow. Nevertheless, Draydon expresses how impressed he is with how much Iris has grown. Her ability to listen to and understand, and respect the wishes of her Pokémon, something which it was clear she did not do when they last battled. As they say their goodbyes, it is revealed that Draydon was the one who suggested to the village elder that Iris go on a journey. In addition to this, he also views Iris as a potential successor to him at the Opalucid City Gym, something which comes as a huge surprise to Iris. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 Iris episodes from the Pokémon Black and White anime. If you can think of any others you feel should have made the list, feel free to write them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing for more Black and White content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Best wishes!